everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another message, but this time I'm going to talk about the aftermath of 8/8, the Lion's Gate. Now, granted, the energies are continuing through, I think they said the 11th, so it's kind of like as it comes in, it does this line graph of starting up, and then on the 8th it's at its peak, and then it starts winding down a bit. So what I want to do is share with you some learnings that were profound on Lion's Gate, August 8th, not only for me, but for a session that I had and the experiences that I had that day as well, and information that came in about this. And I'm doing this because it's useful for us moving forward, because we're going to continue to have energy adjustments, energies coming in. And particularly when we know dates of certain energetic events, this is going to be really helpful. It's new information to me. Some of you may be very aware of this, and it will be a good reminder for you. So I'm going to try to make this simple today in explaining this. I'm going to give you some information that came through in a session, channeled information, and then I'm going to go ahead and share with you another conversation I had, but the experiences that I had as well that backed all of this up, and it was fascinating. So welcome to all of you today. I'm Carolyn. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I provide these videos for your own learning during the awakening journey that you're on. And if you're interested in getting more free content, you can click on the link below. That'll get you to a video on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness, but it leads you to a lot more free content in my weekly email list. So thank you everybody for joining me, and I so appreciate you. So what I want to do today is talk a bit about, and I'm going to look at my notes this time because I want to make sure I get this all in. Talk about what happened on August 8th for me of this past week. I had a mentoring session with a client, and it was all about energy. And I think it is no chance that occurred on Lionsgate Day, the peak day. And so we got talking about what we were feeling during that day. And I had started to feel a bit, I wasn't really expecting that because I'm still new at feeling the energies in my body. It's all happened since 2019, but a lot of people feel this regularly and can kind of tell by their bodies exactly the time it came in. I'm starting to get that way. But what I've understood with respect to the changes and shifts that come in with the energies, particularly on these particular dates, but also in general, is that we are participants of this as well. And I'm going to talk about this. Most of us think that, oh, we're just going to get bombarded by the energies, and we just have to let it go and let it happen. And yes, leaning into it is important, but we are participants. So first and foremost, I'm going to give you some primary quotes and pieces that came in from this session. I actually went back on the recording and I wrote these down for you. So as these energies come into our awareness, into our surroundings, into us, we are participants, as I just mentioned. But as we do certain activities throughout the day, such as meditation, finding a way to actually utilize these energies, which I'll talk about in a bit, that allows the acceptance of the frequencies coming into us. It's not just that it's happening to us and that we don't have any control. And primarily through some form of meditation or quiet space opportunity for you during the event, during that time when you're feeling these energies, you are then able to start transmuting and releasing these energies and using these energies in your body. So again, I go back to, you're not just getting bombarded and not being able to control them. You are an active participant. Okay, so I didn't know that beforehand. Many of you who've done this for a long time may understand this, but I don't think most people do. We feel things are mostly done to us and we can't control them. But what they said to me very clearly was the energy comes in intelligently. It is an intelligent energy, but it's also very individual to the person. So what happens is it comes in intelligently and it knows where it needs to go for us. But there is so much that can actually affect whether or not that energy gets into us to be able to be used in the intelligent fashion, as well as allowing us to use it. One of the most important things is, are we participating in it? Are we actually on that day or during that time finding a way to connect with the energies? And whether you feel them or not, it's still a great practice, but most of you are going to feel them in some way, whether it be through emotions, changing and adjusting, through just vibration. Sometimes people will feel vibration ringing in the ears, all of that, all right? So what you can do then is lean into it and be able to start participating with that intelligent energy, because what it does is it gets in, and we'll talk about how it gets in, okay, or how it can get in. And then you are able to start participating in it by using it in a way that most benefits you. And what they said was, they make, this is so fascinating, they make an estimate on what is needed. They are, our angels, our guides, our interplanetary beings. They're making an estimate on what's needed for everyone. And then what we do is we come along and we participate. Who knew, right? So what we can do is, when that energy comes into us and we feel it, now for instance, I feel it through anxiety and anxiousness and extreme emotion. The best thing for me to do is to sit down, recognize that, shut down everything else I'm doing, and I know that's hard in this human life, and then lean into this and participate in a way where we actually can feel these energies in us, and then move them to parts of our body where we need them. For instance, maybe we are realizing that our chakras are maybe not moving in the fashion they need to. You can direct the energy there. And this is all just visualization. Everybody can do this. You don't need to have somebody else doing it for you necessarily, although you can. But when it happens at a moment's notice, you can sit down and do this yourself. So by participating and moving that energy into parts of your body that you know it's needed, let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to throw something out. Let's say you have a knee pain. You could take that energy that's coming in that day or that time frame and direct it there. Direct it to your chakras. Direct it to wherever you need it. You are a participant. You are powerful. This is the creator in you taking that energy that's intelligent and using it for your greater good, rather than just being I guess I'll just say, victim of it, because that's not the case. Otherwise, it just kind of bounces around in us. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute, because I had some profound experiences with the energies on Lionsgate the other day that I'm going to share. So additionally, we can then transmute it out. If we know we have too much, which is typically my case, we can remove it from us. The best way to do that is to ground yourself. Now, I have a heck of a time grounding myself. So for me, exercise is fantastic. Getting out in nature is just key. That's one of the best ways to do it. You can use your pendulum to transmute it. I've already talked about that in another video. Grounding is important. A grounding meditation is key, where you're really moving through your body, but you're also focused on your first three chakras and pushing that energy down. You can actually visualize yourself doing that. But the point is to use that energy to the degree that you desire, and then to transmute and allow that energy to go its way. Because otherwise, without our participation, it's just wrecking havoc in us sometimes. And we all know how that feels. It's there for good use. So the other thing, as they said, was the physical body is very important, and how we are taking care of it and what we do to allow those energies in. Because as you know, our vessel is what we travel in for this journey. And the more we care for it, the healthier we are, the more open our chakras are, the more this energy is going to be able to flow. Now, that's not saying that it's not flowing for people who are, under the weather, with some kinds of illnesses. But what they're saying is a body that flows with its chakras moving well, things like drinking plenty of water will assist that, eating healthy, exercise, all the common sense stuff that we do to create a healthy body will allow that energy to work through us more fully. And again, drinking plenty of water is so important, particularly for being able to use that energy in a way where it doesn't start causing blockages. So something that they talked quite a bit about was, in addition to the physical body being important, as I mentioned, we're participants. You can actually use that energy. But that they gave me a visual of two rivers coming together. And then they said the word confluence. So you've got the river of energy coming in from the universe. And then you have your energies. And when these energetic situations occur, that's when the confluence happens. And what happens there is highly dependent on how you are coming into this situation. Are you a participant? Are you bringing in fear? Are you taking care of your body? All of those things. Are you leaning into it? Are you still trying to live that fast-paced life and just letting the energies kind of bounce off of you and not being accepting of them? Are you spending time with yourself in a healthy way, taking a balanced approach to life? All of those things matter as to how that confluence comes together, because it's a blending ultimately of your own energies and the energies coming in that then take you down the river, that one single solitary river now, and allowing you to continue to move higher and higher into a new vibration. So it all depends on how we blend that into ourselves as we move forward in our journey. So I thought that was fascinating. So you can really use that as a remembrance of a visualization that you can use of a confluence of two rivers coming together. You know how it looks murky lots of times, but then it blends into one color of its own. That's what our energies do. And I thought that was fascinating. And then lastly, what they talk about when these energies come in, because my question to them had to do with, well, what about people awakening and those who are not on the awakening journey yet? And they said it's different. And so this explains a lot. As we awaken, what they gave me a picture of is a funnel, okay? And as we continue to move forward in our journey, our funnel gets bigger. We're able to accept, I have chills right now. We're able to accept more energy and more light into us. So when these energetic events happen and we are going through the awakening, we've already said, yes, we want to move forward in this journey, in this awakening journey. We agree to that. So we're agreeing to those energies as well, but we can still participate in them. So we've got that funnel that not everybody has, okay, yet. And everybody's funnel is at a different stage. So what you'll find, or what I found was they were talking about how when we awaken, yes, those energies come in. But again, we have all the things I talked about previously, how you actually use those, what your body's like as far as accepting that and what state that it is in, as well as meditative moments. But then what they said is those who aren't awakening, it's almost like they're a closed system. All right, a closed loop system in a way. Yeah, the energies are coming in, but depending on the person, maybe a little bit's getting in, all right? But most of it's just flowing on the outside. But what it said primarily was for those who are not, who are super closed down, very much living in an ego state, it can be extremely antagonistic. And that's the word they used. And all of a sudden I said, oh my gosh, is this why we are seeing the, you can just say violence in society, some of the things that have happened lately in the U.S. with the shootings. Is this what's happened? And they've given me an indication that the energies can be highly antagonistic to people who are not in the space of either awakening or love and light. And we're all to one degree or another, right? But, and I hope I'm making this clear, is that energies can be highly antagonistic. You have felt them. But the thing is, when we participate with them and we use them, we can transmute them. Whereas people who are fully shut down or a closed system, it's just going to peck at them and bug them. And the whole idea with this energy is to be able to affect everybody in a way that brings them to a higher vibration. So again, it's intelligent, but at the same time, each individual has that opportunity to either choose to ignore it, choose to use it, partner with it, transmute it. So I thought this was so interesting because, we tend to think, oh, the energy comes in and it just affects us all. We don't really think about that detail behind it. So I hope I've explained this to you today in a way that you can use it. But what I do, so there are three things here that I want you to take away, and then I'm going to tell you what happened with me on Thursday to give you an actual example of some of this. So first of all, what I want you to take away is energy is intelligent. That may seem obvious, but I don't think we think about that. It is intelligent. It's hanging out with you for a reason. And then number two, it works within everyone differently. But thirdly, you are a participant. It's not just about it happening to you and you having to feel the way you do, all right? we can actually help ourselves, but still use the energy in a proper way for yourself individually, and continue to grow in that high vibration. So what I experienced on August 8th, I want to share with you because it has a lot to do with this. I honestly didn't really think about participating or doing anything that had to do with Lionsgate. I just thought, oh, I guess the energy's coming in and I'm just going to go through my day. So I did. I got to meditate a little bit. I didn't do it like I should. And then I started noticing throughout the day that strange things were happening to me. Now, my physical body didn't feel as different, but guess what? It came out in a different way. All of these mishaps started to take place. I had a client session that I lost, which is a recording that I do when I do channeled messages session. Now I can get that back because I can rechannel it, but it's a lot of work and it was very depressing to me. I've never had this happen. It just went bye-bye. I knew something was up. I was like, what is this? And then suddenly all these strange situations started happening where my body was moving in ways that I couldn't control, but I didn't understand it later. But what came out of that was two things. First of all, and these may seem minor, but there was a pattern throughout the day where I had a big drink of, it kind of had some sugar in it. I forget even now what it was. It was a sugary drink. I walked by my kitchen and I just moved in a way that I would never have normally moved. And it just went flying. It went flying all over the kitchen, everywhere. And that does not happen to me. Immediately right after that, I went to water a plant and I overwatered it. Water was everywhere over my kitchen. In addition to that, I had a series of mishaps in my garden. I almost to the point where I would put myself in danger of cutting myself. I had a situation where when I was playing tennis, I was almost like I want to say not out of my body, but I couldn't play. And so it was very strange in the sense that my body, I could tell, had different movements going on, but I didn't connect them to Lionsgate at all. I just kind of was moving through my day. I had a busy day that day. Well, later on I came back and a lot of the information that I got came out of the session that I had with respect to the ricocheting piece. And all of a sudden I said, oh my gosh, this is exactly what happened to me. I didn't spend any time with the energies that day. I didn't spend any time focusing on Lionsgate and working with the energies within me. I'm very open. So guess what happened? It came in, filled me up, and it filled me up, okay? Because you're going to get filled up too, potentially. And then all that extra energy, because I didn't do anything with it, started ricocheting and overflowing off of me and into other things that I was affecting. After this happened to me, I realized, oh my gosh, this is the extra energy. This is why it happened. This was a powerful day. I didn't spend any time with it to actually participate and transmute it, say, into the earth, as an example, which would be wonderful to ground into the earth, or spend time in nature, sit in a tree, talk to a tree, or hug a tree, walk barefoot, that kind of thing. I didn't do any of that. I just went through my day thinking it was a normal day. It was not. So consequently, I had 6 things that I had to deal with that day that were some put me almost in physical danger, in a minor way. Additionally, things that were highly annoying, little mishaps, little accidents. And then the real kicker was I talked to 2 other people that had the same thing happen. And that's when I put 2 and 2 together, which was this session I had with all of this information that came through, all the things that had happened to me through the day, which I did not understand. I put this together and realized, all right, Carolyn, this is something that's important for everybody to know. We are participants in this these energetic shifts that we get. We have the opportunity to use this energy for our greater good. It's not just done to us. Yes, the energy is intelligent, and it will be just done to us if we don't realize that we have a partnership with it, if that makes sense. So that's why ceremonies are important. That's why, and many of you probably did spend time in Lionsgate with this, but for those of you who did not, you were in my boat probably. You probably had some interesting things happen that day. And again, this is dependent upon that funnel that you have. Where are you at in the awakening journey? Are we allowing it in? Are we sitting with fear all the time? Are we not taking care of our vessel properly? So ultimately, the idea is you'll have this funnel that will allow you to more easily accept the energies. But believe you me, that's not the end of it. You're going to fill up with that energy, and then it's for you to work with. Use in your body as you wish, transmute out as you wish, and to ensure that you're not ricocheting it all over the place. Because it actually did show me, and this was fascinating in my session, where they were showing me like a ricocheting pellet, like out of a pellet gun, where it was coming off of all this metal. You know how you see that in like cartoons and things, where it's ricocheting all over the place and it's hitting a lot of different things. That's exactly what is happening to us. We have too much energy. So you may find this happening to you not just on major events, because we have a lot of energy shifts coming in. We have a lot of solar flares. There are many things that are occurring to us, but Lionsgate was super powerful and was a peak time on the 8th of this energy coming in. So now we still have it coming through. I guess today is the 11th now that I look at this. And yet at the same time, we're not done with these events. So as you know the actual calendared events, or you know of upcoming energetic events happening, prepare yourself differently this time. See what you can do to participate. See if it makes a difference for you and how you feel. And realize that you don't just have to succumb to it, and that instead it is putting you together with the energy that makes it most powerful. So again, 3 things. Keep in mind that energy is intelligent. It's there for you to use and to work with. It knows what to do, but it's best served if you work with it. Secondarily, it is unique to everyone, as I mentioned about the funnel, about whether you're awakening or not, how you choose to use it, whether you're coming in with fear or not, how you're taking care of your vessel. It's all unique. Additionally, you are a participant. That is the most important thing to take away from this. So much we feel like in the awakening is done to us, but as we know, we have set ourselves up for the awakening before we incarnated, and yet as a human, it feels like it's done to us. So this is a way to take back some of that power and to really participate and see what you can do to use that energy in a way that really serves you, and at the same time allows you to experience a higher vibration, a higher frequency. So with that, I thank you for joining me today. And as always, I ask you to visit my purplerainhealing.com website if you're interested in working with me in the future. I do spiritual awakening mentoring, which is where I work with you one-on-one in your awakening journey, and I channel your angels and guides, and we record that for you to use in the future, but so much comes through. And it's a fascinating journey that we have together. I also do distance energy healing and channeling, and then channeled messages either in person or with the document. So reach out to me if you're interested in working with me, and I will see you in the next video.